What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the next episode of the Post Time Skip podcast. You know what we do under here. If you don't know by now, go ahead watch episodes 1, 2, and some more if you, depending on how you watch these. You know what I'm saying? As always, got KingNathe, host for this week once again, and I'm joined by the usual crew. Go ahead, and say what's up to the peoples.
What's good? What's good? What it do?
What's
It's your
up?
boy,
What's
Mr.
up?
Hotshot. I
Bro,
didn't
I
know if I needed
hate
to
you,
tell
bro. You
this.
always do that shit.
It's your boy, Mr.
Why?
Hotshot. Hell nah.
Why would you just stop and just start again? Like, what's up with that pause, man? Like, I can't take you serious, bro. I don't feel like, bro.
I have to let people, relax. Let them
Bro,
know the king is here. So I have to give them
Hold on,
time to
hold on,
prepare
hold on, hold on, hold on,
themselves,
hold on, hold on,
bro.
hold on. There's
You
only
may
one
be
king on the
king,
Post Time Skip podcast, and that's KingNathe. You better recognize. Continue.
bro. You better be held out, real
You can be a
recognized,
jester.
real
don't do that.
fast.
You can
Don't
You
be a
do
said
that.
knight.
a
Don't do that.
jester.
Yeah, you
We're
know
re-
that like two
Don't do
legends
that.
cannot coexist. Come on now.
Yeah, you're right. So why are you existing? Like, relax, relax. I don't know why he thinks he's that guy, but we can keep it moving. Anyway.
And people got their favorite. But anyways, this week we got a special little episode coming in for y'all. We're called the Post Time Skip podcast, but every week we've been hearing, where's the anime at? Y'all talking about post time skip. We're not talking anything about anime. So this week we're gonna specialize a little bit, give y'all takes on some of our anime favorites, our take on what's going on in today's anime world, and things like that. So first off, just in general, we got to get this elephant out the room that we've had every single week. A couple of us in here love watching anime every week as he's looking away off the screen, but there's a certain type of nigga in here who don't watch anime. Talk to him, Junior. Explain yourself.
Wait. Back up. I watch anime. I just don't stay watching it, bruh. I watch anime, bruh. Freaking sales at work. I'm on episode 10, bruh.
What about
I'm
the
in
next
that
one?
bit.
Yeah, hey y'all, before
I gotta
he
finish that one
tries
first.
to deceive y'all, I told him about Cells at work 2 weeks ago, and he's finally watching it on episode 10. I've been telling this man about anime for how long? Like years? Like
Bruh.
we want to say 4 years, 5 years? Can you stop? Can you
I was gonna
stop?
say that show is hella old.
There's different kind of people, bro, when it comes to anime, bro. There's people that grew up with anime, and there's people that like trying to get into it. I'm one of those. I'm trying to get into it
No,
slowly and
you're
gradually. You
not.
can't force
No,
me. You
you're
can't force
not.
the process, man.
Bro, the problem is you're not trying to get into anime. Every time I tell this man to watch anime, he just decides to do something else on purpose, bro, or go to sleep.
Bro,
He'll hear anime and think that that's time to go to sleep, bro. Like, that's wild
bro,
to me. Also, this man falls asleep while watching Haikyuu. Like, what are you talking about right now, bro? What
bro.
are you talking about?
Depends on the episode.
But I just
I
don't get it,
guess.
bro. How can you watch you just watching some like watching the characters or whatever, and you can't see their eyes? Their freaking hair is covering their eyes, bro. You want me to watch that?
What type of anime you been watching, bro? You
bro,
watching
bro,
that?
bro, he be watching like another, bro, the straight goth anime, bro. He be seeing the
Oh
bangs
no.
covering the face. They ain't even bangs, bro. They all got the bowl cut, bro. Heck nah,
Yeah,
bro.
I
He
would
be
just stick
looking
to
at
cartoons, bro.
this man be looking at people like
I would
Kaneki all
stick to
day and be
cartoons.
complaining, bro.
Oh nah.
But no,
Man.
I'm loving sets at work
Yeah,
though. I know.
I'll give Junior this. I'll say there is like for me, I'm not a diehard watch every night type of dude. But I go through some phases, you know what I'm saying? Like recently
Uh-huh.
I've been off of as much watching as much as I used to. But every once in a while show come out, I grind it up, watch all 12, weekend. They take a little break, move on to the next. So there are different types of people.
Word,
Junior is
word.
none of them. But
Yeah,
Bro,
but
Junior's none of
but we're
them.
not gatekeeping
And
around here, So
no,
finish them next
we're not.
episodes to sell at work and get into it.
Everyone is welcome. No, there's actually something that I saw on TikTok that it really stood out to me. There's this creator I followed back when I first started like my content creating on TikTok, and he stopped making videos around the time I followed him, and I didn't realize that because he has so many videos that every time it popped up on my For You, it was new to me but like old. And he came out recently with like a new video, and he was talking about how one of the reasons why he left TikTok is because he stopped watching anime. He said that something about oh my gosh, Junior, relax. He said that pretty much a lot of like the new gen anime, they do a good job on taking some of the best parts from some of the classics, so everybody's reciprocating the same formula. But then he started to find that a lot of them are starting to look the same to him, and that's kind of draining when you're seeing the same material over and over and over again without much change, which is honestly a pretty cool topic when you think about it, because these animes are technically supposed to be better because they're cutting away all the fluff or the filler, the nonsense that some of the old anime had. Yeah, he got sick of seeing the same thing and prefers some of the old gen because it feels, more realistic, more like emotionful. That's why to this day I feel like a lot of people, they still start off watching like Naruto or like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach. There's still new anime out, but for some reason that's such a great starter pick, even though there are tons of animes better than those. What do you guys think about that? Well, not you guys. What does KingNathe think
Yeah,
about that? We already know who
yeah.
can't
Don't do
contribute.
that. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Honestly, I've heard that argument before, and I understand where people are coming from. But the difference between anime now and anime then is like back then, right? You get your one good show, it runs for hella seasons, but basically you be waiting on that every single week. Nowadays, you have at least 15 to 20 brand new shows a new episode every single week. Seasons continually moving in. So as soon as you get done with one new show, you got 20 new options. And out of all them
Yeah,
20 options, you can't tell me one of them isn't gas. Which every season has some super hot garbage, so you can't be mad at it. And a lot of times you
true.
don't have time to run through, every single episode and every single season because I know damn well I don't. But every season, even though I don't watch anime as much as I used to, I still find me at least one or two good picks and watch them every single week. Stay on top of it. So I feel like even though some of the older shows seem like they're better, it's the way that you can consume it now has so many options that it's not as big of an issue. You feel what I'm saying? So
Okay.
like now, like
Yeah, I
say,
feel that. I feel
hell nah. Junior will
Uh,
that.
find out eventually. Once he finishes the next episode of Cells at Work that's been out for 4 years. But
no,
Oh wow.
low key, Junior is somebody. Hey, you guys might have to appreciate Junior because he's somebody that can truly go on the journey with you guys. He could start at this beginning stage that he's at right now and hit that
Uh,
post time skip, just like
oh
we're meant to
nah.
do on here.
I
So go
haven't. I
ahead.
haven't hit it yet, right?
Nah.
I'm.
This
Okay.
man Junior
Okay.
finna be a past the tunings exams at 45, bro. Like
There's no way.
Look at
hell
saying there's
nah.
no
Anywho,
way like he knows what that means, bro. Like stop.
yeah, because y'all were laughing. Y'all were laughing. You gotta put things together, man. I don't watch anime, but I can put stuff together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
I
true.
believe it. I believe it.
Give him that one. But yeah, nah.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely say, kind of, and last little point on that too is these newer shows, like the old shows. I feel like a lot of it has to go with nostalgia, right? So you grew up watching all this extra stuff. I really didn't
Mhm,
grow up watching anime like that, but like I slowly got put on probably
mhm.
towards like high school, and that's when I actually started watching it a bunch. So like
Yeah.
I have less of the nostalgia stuff. So the newer shows have a lot more replay value to me. Like I'll rewatch a show that was gas like 100 times. Like at my top tens, I probably watched them like 4 or 5 times, back to back to back,
Sakura
straight
Pet
through.
House.
People don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
We'll
hey,
let
we
we'll
put
let them
them
we'll
on
let them
later. We
learn.
put
We'll let
them
them
on
learn.
later.
Yeah. But shows like that are really really good that are like the newer version on the kind of this like uh seasonal schedule that they got going on
Hmm.
nowadays are like have so much you can rewatch them, find something brand new, and even though which is terrible for people who actually make the shows, but because they come out with so much content so fast, like say Junior watches an episode of this new show and he thinks it's terrible, you can drop that show and find another one in about 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So there might seem like there's less quality anime, but I feel like there's the same amount, but there's just so many you kind of have to pick through in order to actually find.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true though. I do think so. I started watching anime probably middle schoolish because I know they started showing it on like Tsunami, like on Cartoon Network, and sometimes on like the CW. They would show it on like Saturday morning, so they were showing your classics like some Yu-Gi-Oh. I had some like Dragon Ball Z. I had some like Blade, Pokemon,
Yeah,
all of
that's
those.
childhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like definitely like I always thought it was very cool. I
No,
remember the
no,
first
no.
one that stop. The first one that stuck out that they started showing on Cartoon Network, which is why it's one of my favorite animes. I'm not considering it great, keyword favorite, is Sword Art Online. I remember when that first aired, especially when they were only showing like the first season. I was just like mind boggled. I was like, I can't believe a concept like this exists, because honestly, like Western society culture was not touching this at the time. Like I could compare kind of what I was watching then to like the anime that was coming out then, and it was just a completely different world. Not saying that there was stuff wrong with like the cartoons we grew up watching, but like it felt like I just like opened a whole new world, and I was just excited to like join the adventure. So it definitely has that effect. I have not rewatched Sword Art Online in like 5+ years,
Good
so
decision.
I might try it
It
just to
might not hit the
see.
same.
It might not hit
Also,
the same. I don't
you
want to
said you were
mess up
watching
that feeling.
the first season was coming in. It was the
No, I
first
watched
half
it
of the
while the
first
first
season.
season came
Yeah,
in.
the
Yeah.
first half, gas. Everything else, in my
Nah,
opinion.
remember Alization? Remember Alization? It wasn't bad.
Yeah, remember? I guess I can't say that because it's a spoiler. But
Oh,
you can remember Alization, but you still got to remember the Elfine arc or whatever it was called. That's
bro,
sorry
let's
ass
not talk
shit.
about that. And
That's sorry ass
Gun
shit.
Gale
I'm
gets
just
more
so
hate than
mad,
it
bro.
should. I'm so. Hey, you don't have to be bad.
I'm just so clueless, man.
You can
Like
be
it's
no,
pissing me off.
but you know it's pissing you off. You know it's pissing you off. You don't have to be clueless. You choose to be clueless. You choose
Bro.
not to watch this stuff. You know what? We're not getting on you this podcast. We're letting it slide. We are educating the viewers, the listeners, and
Uh-huh.
I guess you today. But your
Sure.
pass ends today because we're making this podcast episode. Let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling. Come
Not
on,
Josh
dude.
with the anime speech too. Wait a minute.
Man, yeah.
Bro, I need a
That's
theme
his
music behind
specialty,
me
bro.
right
That's
now.
Hell nah.
educate. Yeah.
Nah.
All right.
I definitely say too. You're kind of talking about the difference between like Western cartoons. You know that people like. Junior perform. Now I'm just joking, but a lot of people are used to watching. I feel like the main difference that like if I'm gonna watch like an animated show, which there are some good ones out right now. The Arcanes, the Invincibles, stuff like that. But the big difference before a lot of these shows kind of started picking up was that like you had like in the Western culture, right? You have a show and it have the general plot or whatever, but
Mhm.
the character development wasn't as strong and it'd be a lot more tailored just to kind of like I guess the youth basically, right? But in anime,
Yeah.
I feel like there's no holds barred. Like you can have any type of show. One episode it could be happy, next show everybody dying type of thing. Or one show,
Yeah.
you have a thing about some school, school life. Everybody thinks of anime, think little anime school girls or whatever, but them girls be going through it. You know what I'm saying? So
They do. Bro, those slice of
yeah,
life, you be like, damn, bro, what they got going on? It be giving me Euphoria vibes, low key, bro.
man,
It
Uh-huh.
be,
exactly. Without the
look
sound
at
Talk
though,
him.
about.
just tears.
Tears. Don't get me started. Hey, bro, Clan Ad, you ever watch that? You understand.
Hey
Mm-mm.
man, make sure y'all are
Mm-mm.
in good state before you watch Clan.
Make
You
sure
be
you
sad
are
as hell
not
watching that
under
show.
emotional damage.
Damage.
That's what I'm
Cause
saying.
that touches different, especially the second season. That comes crazy right there. But
Yeah.
honestly, that's true. Which I do think cartoons that we used to have. I know we talked about it a little bit on the previous episode, but some of those also came with really cool life lessons and really cool like character development and connections that we were able to make. But I just think that anime almost does it better most of
Oh
the
yeah.
time.
You
But
gotta
that's
think.
just
I'm
me.
finna get a low key anime tat. I would never get a Billy and Mandy tattoo on my body.
Bro, do you know
You feel
how
what I'm
wild that
saying?
would be?
I would never
What
do
would
some shit
you
like that.
what would you even get from Billy and Mandy, bro? What you finna get? Grim on your freaking
No, nah.
forearn, bro? Like
What
what
was
are you gonna
that?
get?
What was the little black dude's name with the big poop? What was his name?
Irwin.
Irwin, bro. He really
Irwin.
spoke to me. I used to be an Irwin. Then I started listening to the Post Time Skip podcast and went crazy.
Bro. Imagine we turning people from like Irwins to like the Rocks or some some
Listen, I gotta keep moving if I'm trying to be the rock, then.
apparently we're only halfway there.
Yeah.
Nah, that would be
Yeah.
wild. That's true though.
We
And
stay
it's
humble.
actually okay. Relax. What I'm coming to, bro? Heck no, relax. No, I will
Yeah,
say
I'm trying to get cancer.
and also like the culture, like it's been an eye opener, I guess is the best way to put it in terms of Japanese culture. This is the first time I was having a conversation with somebody that I've seen Americans accept another culture so willingly. Because, America, you know how we be getting down here sometimes, but like, and when I
Ooh,
say we, I'm not including me, but yeah, y'all get the gist. Y'all get the gist.
you
But
better say
no,
us. Don't
no,
just
no,
say me.
no. Yeah, us
I know.
this podcast. We don't get down like that. But
Yeah.
like, definitely, like, this is the first time people have so willingly accepted another culture, from like the language to the music to the food to just like, on honestly, like, its entirety. People are out here planning trips to like Tokyo just because they've seen a couple places in anime, like Kyoto, for example. They were like, "Ooh, this looked pretty cool in the anime. I want to see how it looks in real life." And of course, I'm guessing it's beautiful there, which we need to plan a trip. But honestly,
Very
like,
Wait,
it's
approachable.
wait, 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 wait. What did you say? What you said something? You said
we
something?
need to plan a trip to
Oh, okay.
Tokyo, but
Okay.
we'll talk about that later. But honestly,
COVID-19. Y'all been having for
COVID
another like, year or
22.
two.
yeah, it's coming, bro. It's coming. But it's beautiful to see that, like, to see people be able to adopt that culture and like mess with it so like heavily. It's really cool to
Hmm.
see that. And I don't think you see that in a lot of things that we pick up here in America. So just a little
Yeah.
take right there.
I think that's facts for sure, which I think you can talk about it too, because it's kind of a general thing. But I feel like even the difference a lot of times are like, cartoons and stuff and anime stuff are really easy to consume. They're really cool on the eyes. You can do a lot of stuff you can't do like in real life, you feel what I'm saying? But the thing that sets anime apart to a lot of people, I feel like, is like the way that like they make that media is made for the person who's watching it to be like fully immersed into like whatever that character is going through or like what the character is doing, right? So like a lot of the shows are even tailored to like, say they want, this is kind of a weird example, but they're like, there was that one show, I think it's Gate, and it's like, oh, they were trying to get military incorporation, right? They made a fantasy anime about, getting people to join the military, basically. So it's like even that's kind of on a grand scale. Even some of the smaller shows like the slice of life stuff people can directly relate to, which makes it so much easier for you to kind of put yourself in that position, right? So if I'm seeing the show and these dudes are trying to figure out their life, living all this stuff, even if it's some a slice of life or a big battle shonen type show, it's always something you can relate to that you're like, oh, okay, this could actually be something in real life. So I feel like that's why so many people then see, Japan and they're like, oh, okay, well, if it's like that over there, I'm trying to find out myself, which,
Yeah.
through a different glasses, it's not actually, like anime, it's like
Mm,
media at the end of the day, but
yeah.
it's always a lot of
They.
stuff you can appreciate easier when you actually
Mm.
relate to the people on that type of level.
Nah, hey, that's a great way to look at it, because once you feel like you're one in the same off, like the battle of life, then your eyes are just open to like a different perspective, and you're a lot more open to things, and that's why I feel like that's what most motivational speakers do. I swear they always hit you with the spill of how they were before they became motivational speaker, and
Yeah.
for the most part, they are always down so bad, and then they work their way up to where they're at, and as they take you through that journey, you usually find yourself somewhere in that journey, and it makes it a lot more relatable, and like it like in turn makes you want to listen to what they have to say, because you're like, I understand that struggle, man. I was once there, or I'm currently there, or I'm working through it just like you worked through it. And that's that human connection right there. And anime does a great job of having that human connection and keeping it a buck with you. So shout out to anime right there.
Yeah.
That's
I need to start
facts.
watching anime.
Yes, sir. That's all we need. We can stop this recording right now.
We've done our good job. We've done our job. We've
We'll
done
see y'all
our
next week. Nah, but I guess
job.
kind of even though we said a lot of stuff, anime
That's
does
my
do a
show.
good job. This is what we need Junior here for. Junior, what do you think anime is missing out that's been keeping you from actually kind of keeping up with it so much? What are some like stereotypes you see as someone who doesn't watch as much anime about it?
Uh, I don't even know because I don't even watch enough anime to like answer that. Cause I don't watch enough anime to answer that. Like I don't know how
Yeah,
to get into that.
Okay, how about this? Let's frame it more like this. So you said that every time you can't watch more than one or two episodes, and then you have to switch to
Right.
something else. Well,
Right.
most animes, especially once the season's been completed and it's all out at once, you can honestly binge it in like a night or two if it's like 12 episodes. So what?
we'll
Why
say we'll say a
exactly?
week. We'll say a week for
Yeah, we'll say a
the
week.
average
We'll say
bear.
a week. Yeah. So why exactly are you so ready to like click off and watch something else? Why does it not keep your interest? Is more of a better way to explain it.
I feel like Because when I watch anime, I go into it like I'm watching like regular cartoon. So if I like when I watch it, I like keep watching it, but I just don't get that cartoon feeling. I don't get that cartoon vibe. So if I don't feel like watching it as a cartoon, I was like, nah, this is not it. I just move to the next.
Okay,
So
so
pretty much all I need to do is like what I need to start doing is like, take that freaking cartoon mentality out of my head and be like, I'm watching anime and just watch anime as it is, pretty much. But I can't do that.
I mean,
That's the
Japanese
problem.
cartoon, we act like it's not a cartoon. Somebody say, hey, what's that cartoon you watching earlier? Somebody turn around and be like, nah, you mean that anime I was watching? Like,
Right.
people get
Right.
offensive, bro. You
I'll
be
give
like,
you
yo, chill.
I'll give you one show that
Right.
would immediately fix your problem, Junior. You need to watch Full Metal
Go ahead.
Alchemist. If you watch Full Metal Alchemist, you will immediately stop thinking of anime as a cartoon versus what you call, because like the themes that they get into in that show are like a grand scale, so much like crazier than anything you've probably ever watched like normally watching cartoons, and it's like good, so it'll actually keep your interest, but it'll like actually show you like a clear line between this is a cartoon and this is like actually some like world, basically like a drama in America, honestly. So
Okay.
that'd be a show to peep for sure.
Yeah, there's something I need to clarify. So is Invincible a freaking anime or cartoon?
No, it's a cartoon. So
Thank you.
Invincible is based off of an American comic, which I will say, from what I've heard, me and Nate had a friend that was kind of telling us about it while we were watching it. Um, the comic is even better than the show. The comic is actually like more gruesome. Some of the fights that we saw in that show actually didn't even go down like that. Like it was like worse. Some people were getting done more dirty than like what the show like illustrated. But honestly, Invincible is a good example of how a lot of animes turn out. Why do you think we like animes so much? Invincible is something that I see like once a season in anime at least. Like usually there's like an anime that reaches that tier of like interesting, which I will say 2021 released some bangers in terms of cartoons between Invincible and Arcane. They hey,
They
I
had
salute
nothing better to do, bro. They
2021.
were stuck at home. COVID.
They were stuck at home and they said,
They got in their
"I
bag.
finally time to
Their
get in
fucking
the bag."
imagination, bro, started going crazy.
Hell no.
But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro, only your imagination can stop you, bro. You can't do so much.
hey, bro, keep
That's
that
facts,
going,
for
bro.
sure.
That's speech worthy right there. Oh yeah, imagination.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
This man works for
Stop right
Disney,
there,
huh?
bro.
Just believe. Imagination. Nah, but that's for sure. So I guess I do have a question for Junior. So like when you say what you say about being stuck at looking at it like a cartoon, what benefits are there from looking at it as a cartoon? Like why would you want to look at it as a cartoon?
I'm not like it's not my choice. I'm not doing it like I'm not doing it because I want to do it. It's not a choice. It just happens.
Yeah.
It's like a mindset thing.
No,
It's
no,
like
but that's
stuck
what
in
I'm
my
saying.
head
There's
as a
probably
cartoon.
like, a reason why, or is there just no
I don't
reason you're
know.
just doing it? Okay.
I don't know. 'Cause I don't. I'm not planning it. It just happens.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I think he'll need to watch like, which it looks like he's getting through sales at work, but if he watches like another anime, maybe in like a group setting that like,
Yeah,
he
no.
has to kind of sit there and watch it, I think that'll open his eyes. Now, Full Metal, I don't know
Bruh,
who you're watching that
this
with
is
because it's
not okay,
decently
bro. Y'all
long.
can't just be forcing me like this, bro.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
I'm trying to let
This
you
is
hit your
one of
time skip, Junior.
this is one of those we're forcing you because we love you. You know how your parents be whooping your ass, bro, and right after they be like, we did this because of love, and you be like, why are you
Be like,
lying
shut the
right now?
fuck up.
I mean, yeah,
Get off
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Get
This
off
is
me.
one of those. This is one of those times though, because honestly, like, I think that there's just like a lot of benefits for anime. There's so many people that I've seen just be like, ugh, why would I watch anime? And maybe a year or two, it might take a minute. They come around and they're telling me about the newest anime they're watching. And it's because there's so much out there. That's what I think. The genre is so vast and there's so many
Yeah,
animes
that's the
that
thing. That's one
exist.
reason why I respect anime. Even though
Yeah,
I don't
like
watch
there's
it.
something for everyone. Like that's what I try to get across. I'm like, hey, what type of genres do you like? Do you want to watch something long, short? Try to like put together a list of stuff that they should like, and just try it out and see. Because maybe some shows start off too slow, but there's too many animes for you to say that all of them start off slow. Some the first 10 minutes you're like, bro, what's going on here? Like it's that quick. So like there's an anime for everyone to get into the anime. It's just, have you found the one for you?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a chance when I get done watching Injustice, Ozark,
Okay, we
Hey,
get you have a list.
Titans.
You can
See,
stop.
before you watch, if you're not gonna watch anime, go ahead and what's that shit called? Go ahead and watch the new season Snowfall coming out this month. If
Snowfall's
you're not
coming out with
watching
the new
anime, you
season?
gotta watch out there. Yes, sir.
Bro,
That
Snowfall
shit
is
is-
ass.
Franklin.
What? Oh, you're
He's
lying. Stop it.
joking.
The's no
He's
way.
trolling.
I didn't watch
there's
it
no
yet.
way.
I didn't watch it.
Bro,
I didn't
Snowfall
watch it
is
yet.
literally like my favorite show, honestly, other than anime. That shit is so good, bro. Yeah, go ahead and watch that.
That's a real show too, bro. They be going.
Yes.
That might be
That show is
tough.
fire.
That mic is tough, bro. That mic is tough.
I'm gonna watch the
That's my
first season.
favorite show. That shit hits. It's such a good show, dude.
Dude, yeah. It's a good investment.
I'm
It's a good
missing out.
investment. Yeah.
Junior about made me lose my life right there. Ooh,
Boy
man.
was gonna fall out the chair right there. He was going crazy. He said, "What, Nani? What's going on? What's going on here?"
I was like,
So you
I
don't know
ain't
about that
never
Snowfall.
heard anybody say Snowfall was just ass. Like, I get if you didn't like it, but that show is so good, bro. Oh my lord.
And honestly, it's one of those shows that the main character does his role so well that like I don't like looking at him in different roles, if that makes sense. Like Harry
That's
Potter,
Franklin
dude.
Saint, bro.
He got stuck, bro. That Daniel
Yes.
Radcliffe is Harry Potter. No matter what he appears in,
yes,
just-
bro.
bro. So
Hey.
oh yeah, what's his name? Tyler James Williams. Everybody hates Chris, bro. Well,
See,
he
when
at least
people
he got
said that-
lucky. He got stuck with two because he got stuck with
Yeah.
everybody hates Chris and let it shine, and he can't get past that. That man
Maybe
was
that's the same character, honestly. So
true. He was in like Walking Dead, and nobody gave two fucks, bro. They were like, "Hey, yo, Chris."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So
hey, that's temporary. The dude from fucking Twilight's Batman now, so you can hear anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he is.
No,
Yes, he
I
is.
think yes he is. What's his
1000%
name?
he
Something
is.
Patterson or something like that. And I think it's coming out
Yeah,
this.
he's
I think it's
Batman.
coming out this year, and I'm actually
Yeah.
excited about it because I think that they're about to do
March.
a really good job with this
Mhm.
Batman. I think this
Right.
Batman, like we got the OG reigning supreme. We got the Batman Begins, Christian Bale doing his thing, but I think that this man's gonna
Nobody
keep
can
up.
beat Christian Bale, bro.
Hey,
Nobody's gonna beat Christian Bale. In my
I
opinion,
mean,
nobody's gonna beat Christian
nah,
Bale.
nobody's gonna beat that freaking Bane, bro. Dude, his voice was too spot on, bro.
I was born in the darkness.
And now I'm going to break your back. He's the OG.
That movie was
though.
so hard, bro. The
That
Dark
movie
Knight
was so
Rises, top 10.
Dude,
gotta watch
literally
it.
when they hit you with
I gotta
she
watch
said
it.
when Bane was like a side character at the end, you were like, wait, it's not even him, it's you. You're like, bro, what's going on here? Nah, yeah, that was super goated right there. I love that series. That was a good movie series, good trilogy right there.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah. We'll bet. I guess last little anime spot before we try to wrap it out, we'll get into, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier this week, but kind of talking about why you think, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but why you think basically a lot of people watch anime for the right reasons, but there's also a lot of wrong reasons people watch anime, which I feel like holds a lot of people back from getting into the real goodness that you can get. They're going for a different type of goodness, you feel what I'm saying? So what do you think about, some of these shows that could have phrased that a little differently. Yeah. I'll let Josh talk about this one. What exactly am I talking about, Josh? What am I getting at here?
So for those who don't know, so Nate is talking about fan service. And fan service is a thing that, honestly, not necessary. But does it exist? Yes. Does it attract viewers? Yes. Does it exist in even high quality shows? Yes. Perfect example of a newer show that has fan service, Fire Force, right? There's this one character that they literally could remove from the show, and she's
nice.
Exactly.
Stop talking about Maki like that. She's nice.
Bro, yeah, she
half
nice
of
and
the
she
reason
ate.
she's like that is so Shinra can get cold. Don't say that's
Yeah,
not
so
cap.
What? What's the name?
it,
What's the name again? Add it to my
oh my
notes.
gosh, we're not gonna mention this. He can watch the re-recording, bro. He can listen
Bruh,
in,
there's
bro.
no way.
We're not
Fire
redoing
Force is
that.
There's
gas,
no way.
especially that second
No,
season.
and Fire Force
Okay.
is really good. But like
Okay.
on what like Nate was saying, because I was talking to a friend about this, and I realized that like the culture for anime definitely like took a wave in an interesting way, like here in like the US, because you have like a lot of people fanboying and fangirling for characters that are honestly like in middle school. Like these people are 11 and 12 and they're getting like over sexualized. They're like, oh my gosh, like I want to date Killua from like Hunter, and you're like, yo, like that guy's a kid. Like, what are you
That nigga's
talking
like
about right
7.
now? So like I definitely see like whether like they're liking people that are like kids or like one of the anime tropes you got like fat boobs, I guess. I don't know. You got all these characters with like big boobs that is unnecessary. I don't know how else to say it. Like
You could
it's
have said that
not.
so many different
I
ways.
could have said it so many different ways. I could have definitely said it so many different ways.
Bruh, this
But
bet is not okay.
This man said, they must like
no,
boobs or
I'm
something.
just trying to put it out there,
but like
bro.
honestly, like it's almost like that's how they get some of the freaks to watch, but the freaks don't stay for all the sexual stuff. They actually end up staying because anime is good. But that's just something that's in the mix. And like that's why I feel like some people like enjoy cosplaying. If you see some of like the cosplayers here in like the US for anime, some people are like, adding, I don't know, like different enhancements and different things. Just, help them look more of the part in terms of, modeling their their favorite.
We're just giving Josh a smooth 5 seconds to or 5 minutes to sound like a freak is what it sounds like. He
No.
said there's
I'm
special
gonna come.
enhancements for
No.
modeling.
I'm coming around. I'm coming around. So like they do all this just to like portray like their favorite characters and stuff. So I will say that all that stuff exists, and do think that the following for anime will be a little bit smaller, but I still think it would have went viral the same way it has like the past couple years, because we always have the people that were watching it back in the days like 10 plus years ago, and it wasn't cool or hip, whatever you want to call it, during that time. But now that it's become a trend, it's even become almost a quality to have. People are out here putting on Tinder like, oh yeah, I watch anime. Like, what is that supposed to mean? How does you watching anime all of a sudden decide your personality? Like, since when was this a thing? Like, I'm confused. But I think that regardless of having that fan service or not, I think anime would still become as big as it is today, just because of the type of organic reach that it's had. Like, I don't know too many people out here recommending shows solely because of fan service. And if you do, you need to check
Stop
yourself.
listening.
Please
You're banned.
check yourself. You're banned.
You can't
Yeah.
listen to us no more.
So like yeah, but like I understand why anime became big and how that helped, because even if you look at stuff like Dragon Ball, for example, people think that some of their favorite shows doesn't have fan service. If you watch Dragon Ball, which is before Dragon Ball Z, which is like Goku as a kid, literally this man was like out here like touching like panties. Like I don't there's no other way to say this, but Goku was a freak. Goku was a little freak.
I
I'm gonna
learned it
give
from
it to
Master
him.
Roshi, bro.
He learned it from Master Roshi. Krillin was a freak. They were all freaks, bro. And like, does that take away from the show? Not really.
That shit was too
Is it
lit.
there? Yes. Is it iconic? Since Nate wanted to bring that up. Yes. It's
Yeah, still
iconic.
lit.
Yeah, ish. But like, it set a gateway for the anime community. Because I could call Naruto, which Naruto is better than
Naruto is
Dragon Ball
mid.
Z though. You said Naruto's mid?
Yeah, it's good, but it's
It
mid.
is good.
It's upper
Yeah, I
mid.
mean, like it's not in my top 10 or anything. So yeah,
Nah, it's not my top 10 either.
There's nothing in your top 10. Shut up.
It doesn't work.
Spencer Wilkins top one though. It's not number
Oh
one.
my god.
You got Spencer
Still-
one.
It's
You got
crazy to me that's what
Haikyuu,
you
you got
started with.
Pokemon. You got Pokemon, bro. That's it, bro. Top 3, bro. Come on, bro. Don't
Oh
sleep.
my gosh. Which there's this one thing that I saw earlier today that actually was very surprising to me. So, you guys have watched Yu-Gi-Oh, correct? Or seen Yu-Gi-Oh? Junior,
Mhm.
you haven't either?
Were you talking to me? No, I haven't seen it.
Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh. No, okay. So the way Yu-Gi-Oh starts in terms of like the dual realm and all that, that apparently there's actually 7 chapters before that they were playing all sorts of games, and some of these games were dark that like people were like dying and getting like set on fire. And that just exists in the realm of Yu-Gi-Oh, but the show starts right after those 7 chapters. So I found that very interesting. I'm gonna go back through and read the manga, which is a whole nother like discussion in terms of manga, which for the people that like don't like watching shows or feel like anime takes too long, manga is a great way to still get all the details. And be able to hit or not, like I don't know. Okay, that might have came off a little weird.
So I watch animes because you hear about these little freaks doing their thing, watching these wild ass shows just because. But I definitely do think it's a part of the community that, even though they're weird, they do add a lot of value to helping it the media grow. So you got to respect it a little bit, even though I don't. That's not what I look at my shows for. Technically, fan service can be anything. It doesn't have to be, voluptuous woman as Josh prefers, but it can be, the type.
Why did you
Sakuga
just
is-
throw that in there? Podcast. Don't let this man Nate throw me under the bus. I don't know why he just threw that in there, but he needs to relax.
I can't expose Josh on this podcast. But anyways, basically it can be like Sakuga is basically Sakuga for those who don't know. It's like animation, like the way animation looks. That's fan service technically. A lot of stuff like that basically just plays to a certain audience is basically fan service. So it's everywhere. That's kind of how they build the connection you see in the shows now, whether it's through good character development and good stories or, through stuff like that, it's going to be there. So I don't really have a problem with it. I just know, same thing like I said earlier, if you watch a show, you see it, you think it's too much, then move on to the next one, you find a good show either way. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's kind of how I feel about it.
And honestly, like I got to the point that I started just ignoring it because like some people are getting generally like mad, and I'm like, why? Maybe the problem is you're a little too focused on that scene that they're showing right there. Like you can
Josh
definitely
super
like
ignored it. You're gonna have to cut this part out. So go ahead, write your time skip.
No,
there was a certain show that came out. Josh asked me about that.
No.
He said I watched a couple episodes. I was trying to figure out why it was so.
No. I am going to talk about this before Nate gets me absolutely annihilated. So look,
Tell me more.
I'm not even gonna mention the show because
I'm not gonna say the name because y'all would not believe a word he's gonna say if you know what show we're talking about.
So pretty much there was this YouTuber that apparently, or streamer, it was one or both. I just can't remember, but like pretty much he told all his followers to go on my anime list and rate this show a 10 out of 10. So like usually like for each new season I scroll through my anime list, read some descriptions, look at some like ratings, and kind of decide what type of shows I'm gonna watch that season. So I saw that this was like rated like the highest of the season, so I automatically like had it on my list. Now I watched only the first episode and not even the whole episode. No, I did not watch. No. We talked about this.
When you told me it was 2. And I said, "Are you crazy? Why'd you keep watching?" You said, "I thought it was gonna get better."
How
That's
better?
what you said. Try to cap, because I'm not gonna let it happen. Try to cap.
Explain yourself.
Okay.
Explain yourself.
Apparently I
Explain
said that. Apparently I said that. But that show was not what I thought it was going to be in layman's terms. So I remember the next day talking to Nate in the library, and I was like, "Hey man, like, have you heard of this show? Like, it's supposed to be rated really high, but like, it got some weird stuff going on in the show." I was like, what's going on here?" And this man Nate just trying to label me a freak, and I'm like, bro, I don't understand. Which Nate can get into how he like really try to expose me. Which if he does explain that part, all I'm gonna say is me looking at like my whatever iPhone I had at that time and not zooming into the freaking like profile picture was also partially my fault. Because if I would have just took like a couple seconds to look at the cover art, I should have known to dodge that. But I did it, and then it led to this discussion that we had that day.
Yeah.
They can finish.
Crazy thing, I wasn't even finna say that. I was just gonna let you go as crazy as you wanted to.
Nah.
I can definitely see how you sometimes put the blinders on and stuff like that for sure. After that that example, so
Yeah, he's trying to save himself, bro. There's no save. There's no rescue, bro.
You don't want to be saved.
Hell nah. Dumb.
But yeah, that did happen, and I don't even think I should call that fan service. That's just a genre that shouldn't exist. I think that's the best way to take care of that.
Watching that shit.
Yeah, that's and you know what's sad? That's what people like used to like consider people that watch anime would suck, and that's why I don't think a lot of people like took so long to get into it, because I think the way people got to like used to get viewed as being like an anime watcher was so negative. It was like, oh, you watch anime, and it's like it was such like a negative like outlook, and now it's like cool to watch anime, which now like promotes a lot of people watching it. Which no matter the reason you get into anime, you stay because it's good. Whether you get into it because you're trying to follow a trend, you want to be considered cool, or you're actually interested, you stay because the content is actually pretty good for the most part. So that's all I got on this. We can drop this before I get exposed.
Hey, just a PSA. All I did was bring up the question. I just let Josh let y'all know. You know that. For y'all trying to say I bully Josh, I don't.
Well, are there people out here thinking that I get bullied? Crazy, bro. Go ahead and DM me one-on-one. We can talk this out. Hash this out.
Anyways, so before we close out the podcast, we were talking about good shows to for people to watch that'll make them stay. I feel like it can't be an anime episode without some subtle recommendations. We'll start off with Junior. His number one sells at work. Great shit. No, I'm joking. But if you have any shows you want to see, just or any shows in general for people who don't watch anime, you think people should watch, go ahead, throw them out. They don't even have to be anime. For our less time skipped friend in the call right now.
Wait, you asking me to give him
just any show? You're talking about cartoons. What you want people to watch that's been keeping you from watching anime. But for me and Josh,
I've been watching cartoons lately. Hold on. So I have
what
to
you
watch
did lately. Stop. Hold up. Let me stop you. Real quick. Understand the question. It can be anything. Just talk about good stuff. We just want the good quality stuff.
I have to think now.
Which, I mean, you just mentioned one, Ozark. Ozark's really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently watching right now. So if you're talking about old shows, I have to think because I don't always be watching good shows. Just watch it just to watch it. But some shows I just be watching it for the action, like freaking Stargirl. That show is terrible. DC Stargirl, have you seen that?
What is that on? Is it on? Hold on, watch this. Is it on the CW?
Of course.
Yes, it's a CW.
Of course it is. Of course it's on the CW.
No,
of course it's on the CW.
Bruh, this show could have been so much better if they used different actors. Have you seen Bella and the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She's Stargirl. She plays Stargirl, bro. She is ass.
So Nate, this is another one of those shows that I've watched with like my cousins. Cause Junior also has like younger, he has like younger siblings. So like, we just have to like watch that
Bro,
sometimes.
y'all
Right.
act
Pretty
like
much
I don't
Bella.
have cousins.
I know, but they
Y'all
don't
act
live
like
with
I don't
you,
have
bro.
younger
They don't
cousins,
live
bro.
with you. They
Bro,
don't live with you. It's
I
different, bro.
live
It's
very far away. Without giving
okay,
my location
exactly.
too crazy.
But no, so like Bella and the Bulldogs. Long story short, it's pretty much about a girl that's a high school quarterback. End of story.
Probably get canceled. Bet. Alright, cool.
That's a whole. We're not even gonna get
got
into the
me.
comment that Nate just had. We're not even going to address what he just said right there.
You
We're not
got
even
any?
gonna
Got
address
any?
it. Keep
You
it
got
moving.
any?
Keep it moving.
Got any
Keep it
picks,
moving.
Josh? Got any show recommendations?
Um. So some shows, I guess I like to start some people off. I might let me name like 2 or 3 genres, I guess. So for slice of life, I'll always recommend Violet Evergarden, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. If you haven't seen Violet Evergarden, it's a very touching story. Puts you in the shoes of a girl that has just went through a lot. Her life has been tough, and getting to see her character development grow, it really just makes the show. Along with it being aesthetically like pleasing, it's just like a beautiful like art style and like world building. So definitely always recommend it. In terms of like maybe like fighting, your shonen jump approach. I'd say Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is a great entry show. Right now, it currently has 1 season. A movie's coming out. If you want to see hands, they got them. They got superpowers. Very intriguing, even from the first episode. So I highly recommend that. And then maybe comedy wise is maybe the last one I'll throw in. And me personally, I like this show called Psyche K. It's pretty much very short episodes. So the episodes, they probably have about 4 or 5 in one episode. So it's very short, like skits of this guy that's a psychic named Psyche. And pretty much he's just this average dude, other than being like the strongest psychic in the world. And you pretty much just go through his like daily experiences. But it's absolutely funny because of like the type of friends he's surrounded by, whether it's his friends, his parents, or just his classmates. Something crazy is always going on. He's always in the middle of it, whether he wants to or not. And you see how he has to like pretty much tackle each problem. So those are my 3 recs. Um, Shameless plug. I'm making a YouTube video about an anime starter pack. So
How boys
stay
stand
tuned.
up? Oh, okay.
But I'm actually making a YouTube video about that later. So y'all
That was
tune
supposed to
in.
be posted today, by the way.
That YouTube video is about slice of life, and it might. Well, I'm still editing it, so it'll be posted tomorrow, but it's coming up. Yeah.
Okay. Okie
All right.
dokie.
How about you,
Bet,
Nate?
bet. So, Josh gave you, the starter pack. I'm going to just tell y'all what his. I'm going to be honest with you. These are just my personal favorites. A lot of these shows, some people don't like as much, but these are just what I like to watch. My nostalgia pick, can't beat it. This is what I was talking about the tattoo earlier. Low-key finna get a little piece done relating to this show. Gurren Lagann is a top 10 show for sure. It basically follows these 2 dudes basically as they start off underground. It's in this like future society where all these like mechs are taking over the upper half of the world, right? So they're in the civilization underground, but they find the spiral drill that gives them enough power to basically rebuild the human society. Basically, you get to watch that adventure. So that's one of my favorite all time shows. That's actually the first anime I watched, so it's got a special place in the KingNathe nation. You know what I'm saying? But some other picks, some newer shows that I like a lot. Well, not even newer shows, just shows in general. Josh mentioned a little earlier. Pet Girl, the Sakura Sao. That show is one of my favorite shows. Like, period. It's a slice of life show, but basically, if you need it basically follows the theme of like when you really try your best and life still doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So it follows these group of students at this like art school, and they all have this different path of where they're trying to get, basically. But along the way, you'll see no matter how hard they do certain things, that they try or they do their best, they're always sometimes falling up short, and it kind of it was pretty important to me because when I was watching the show, I was kind of feeling like, I wasn't actually hitting where I wanted to be. I was doing everything I was supposed to do, going above and beyond, and still not hitting life. So if you ever feel like that, go ahead and peep that show. Give you some inspiration to know that's okay. You'll end up being solid after some stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? Throwing a couple more picks. A fire kind of more shonen. This is like one of the retro picks, I guess you would say too. Is Code Geass. That show is gas. I mean, Lelouch is
Sweet
probably
gas.
my favorite main character out of any anime. He's just like the best protagonist you possibly could have. It's more of it kind of follows like a political, like militaristic type side of things, but it's basically described if that show I said earlier, Gurren Lagann and like Death Note had a baby, basically. Because like the way Lelouch outthinks a lot of these situations, but it's also kind of like a mech show. It's pretty solid. Let me see. I guess I got to get a pure slice of life pick in there. So for my last pick, I'd probably say Kokoro Connect. It's probably one of my favorite slice of life shows.
How did I know you were throwing that in there?
Bro, it's one of my favorites. That shit is so good. It basically follows this group of students, right? And they're not really friends, but all in the same, club. Because that's a trope in, Japanese media. But all of a sudden they started going through these like events that are all based on like the heart, right? So like emotions and stuff like that. And through these events, they kind of learn more about, this random group of students who never met each other, kind of how they relate to each other, what's really going on in their lives, how that's impacting them, and kind of the veils that we hold as people when we're trying to look a certain way. But in actuality, everything going on behind the scenes is like crazy. So I related that show a lot. You feel what I'm saying? So I was just a couple picks, they're a little less, beginner friendly, but once you start watching them, you pick onto them. They're definitely ones that hit either way. So
there's a newer one that like you reminded me when you were talking about Mac. And I know me and you have talked about this. There's also this anime called 86.
yes,
boy,
if only they got the production studio up.
Oh my gosh, you want to talk about keeping it real? Like these kids don't sugarcoat their feelings. These kids are pretty much on like the bottom. They pretty much became outcasts to a society that earlier in their life they were a part of. So they just became outcasts and pretty much it's almost like they got put in like concentration camps if you think about it low key. They got exiled outside of their community and they got sent to fight for their lives for people that don't care about them.
You know why? Because they look different. In Black History Month,
Because
that's
they
crazy.
look different. Yes. And from an anime aspect, it surprised me how good it was. I personally don't usually like mecha animes like that. Like it's not something that I gravitate towards, but that story was so good that it's honestly like an eye opener, and like you kind of like reflect and think about your past and how you have a certain outlook on life. And like Nate said, it is Black History Month. That falls right in line with some of the stuff that our skin tone on the podcast have gone through and some of these other races that have like pretty much been rejected by society have gone through. So if you want some real stuff, go ahead and give that a shot. I honestly think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. And it's called 86. So
it gives a good balance of kind of because you'll see the perspective of like the people who are actually fighting in these wars and stuff like that, but you also get to see the perspective of someone who grew up not knowing it was like actually like this, and as she kind of starts to understand how society really works, that kind of duality goes crazy in that show. That show was so good.
Big
and I say a lot of shows are ass. So
this shit just got deep real quick. Oh my god,
get watch.
Chills.
It's fire. Well, bet. Now that we got our suggestions out, go watch Ozark 2 from Junior. You know what I'm saying? Good show.
Euphoria.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I'm not forcing nobody to watch Ozark. That's terrible.
Now we forcing you watch some anime. No, I'm just joking. But
yeah, it's gonna be a journey. I'm gonna watch like an anime, like a season. Go to TikTok for the podcast and talk about it, just like that. Okay. Levels. You know what I'm saying?
Bet you got 10 episodes. 10
I'm not talking
podcast. By then,
not talking about how
we're doing another one.
All right, bet.
Gotta hold you to it, bro.
Don't quote me on that though.
It's quoted, recorded, bookmarks, favorited, everything, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, this is not me. This is the other bot.
Oh, no,
Anyway.
they don't know about him.
They don't know about me.
Greg don't
know
exist
about
on the podcast.
Don't.
Bet. Well, if y'all don't have anything else to add to our anime little episode we had today, I'll go ahead and close it out. Y'all got any final remarks? Anything y'all want to say before we close out of this thing?
The usual. Thanks for rocking with us. If you're new, hopefully you enjoyed
sir.
it. If you're not new, hopefully you enjoyed it. Be sure to use word of mouth. If you actually enjoy the podcast and like what we're doing here, go ahead, spread the word, tell a friend, put them on us. No homo, and just like
Why
let's
And
go
you
ahead and
try
spread
to, and you
some
try to
love.
say it's me calling you a freak. That's crazy that you
No,
put that in
no.
there.
I just have to always use that just in case. But no,
I'm
that's all I
scared.
got. Thanks, guys.
I like the way you whispered that. Anyways, Junior, any last words?
Nah, bro. Nah, we good. We chilling.
We'll bet. Appreciate y'all for stopping through. Go ahead, hit us up on all the socials everywhere. All of our streaming services will be linked below. Everywhere you'll find us, personal channels, stuff like that. And y'all know the deal. Just because y'all are getting right now, don't mean y'all got to stay that way. Y'all catch y'all next week. Peace.